Good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon, Dave. Just getting today, or?
Got in last night, flew in, and went by the facility today. Guys getting physicals. Everyone's excited. So yeah, it was good to get back into the swing of things a little bit.
How nice is it to have Kike and Phillips back?
It's great. It's Kike was excited going through his physical today. Evan in his throwing program, I think that it was something that we were optimistic that we were going to get them both done at some point. There was a little, trying to make sure how it fits on the roster and all that kind of stuff, but really good. Evan is, he missed out last year. Kike, I didn't appreciate what he was going through last year as far as the severity of his injury, but to play through it and not complain was pretty amazing, but excited to get them both back.
Do you have a timetable for when either of those guys be ready to play?
Not really. I think obviously it's fair to say that they're not going to be ready for opening day, but sometime in the summer for both those guys.
You guys have talked so much about the culture that you've built, even getting those guys back. How much does that kind of help continue what you guys have behind the scenes the last couple of years?
It does. I think that separately for both those guys, Evan understanding the value of whatever role we need him, it's of importance, and to have that reinforced this year is huge. I think that Kike, I think he's different in the sense of being with us, being away from us, being back with us, coming off injury, understanding that whatever role is in store for him, knowing that when it comes, crunch time, he's going to be counted on. And so I think that that's trust that we've built over the, call it 7-8 years with him.
Did you ever think he wouldn't be back?
There's always a possibility, but knowing how much we value him, what we've gone through with him, him valuing how fortunate he is to play for the Dodgers, I felt that there was and always a good chance that a reuniting could happen.
Did you get that sense of, from their standpoint, also wanting to come back, just from waiting until this point of the winter, given the roster stuff, to be able to make it work? Which kind of speaks to their desire to stay with you guys.
Yeah, I think so. I think that Kike's kind of done this before, as far as kind of having to wait until things sort of settle to then finally come to a finalization that he can sign back with us. I think Evan, wanted to kind of see what was out there, which I respect. Yeah, he earned that right. But ultimately to kind of circle back and you have both guys that had an opportunity, but it's more powerful for them to ultimately land with us. It's a place they chose to be ultimately.
Dave, obviously you guys had a short off-season last year, short off-season again this year. Team's a little bit older. I'm guessing you guys maybe had to take some time to recuperate after the long World Series run. How much, I don't know, does it change kind of maybe the ramping up process, given that maybe guys are maybe a little bit behind maybe, right, where they would typically be?
It does change the ramping up process. I think that I don't know what it looks like for each individual, whether it's pitching, whether it's a younger player that's been around, a veteran position player, for example, Freddie Freeman, it's going to be individualized. I do think that I'm prepared to use all 6 weeks to get guys up to speed and ready. And I will say that it's fair to say that it's going to be a slower ramp up for most guys. Because of the last 2 seasons that we've had to endure.
Now, on the other side of the spectrum, it seems like Yamamoto, Otani, just kind of from what I heard, it looks like they're kind of ready to go, almost already, obviously with the WBC thing here. How do you kind of manage them, I guess, between now and whenever they leave?
Well, yeah, Yamamoto is sort of going to be on an island, given his early ramp up, throwing to hitters and all that kind of stuff, ahead of where the other guys would be. Shohei looks fantastic. So he'll be ready for the WBC. But yeah, those guys will certainly be accelerated versus everyone else.
We'll probably see them in kind of those early Cactus League games before they go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Could we see Yamamoto making a couple starts maybe before leaving?
So he's going to be throwing to hitters here in the next couple days. So I think that I got to talk to Mark prior and figure out exactly what that looks like as he builds it out. So I can't speak to that right now, but I don't know when he's going to be leaving us to be going to join Team Japan. So all that matters, and I'm not sure exactly right now.
Do you have any kind of, I don't know, hesitation or I don't know, just, right? Do you wish, I guess, that he doesn't throw that much in that tournament, or he just kind of, once he's gone, you're expecting him to just kind of go full bore, and that's that?
You know what, I think that for me, I'm okay with, once we all came to the decision that he's going to play and participate, I'm just rooting for him to pitch well and stay healthy. So I don't think that I'm kind of looking at it any other way. We've already kind of came to that decision, so I'm excited for him.
The other WBC guys, Diaz, Kim, Will, they're here ready too?
They are all here.
Okay.
Just want to make sure one thing. You don't see. You say you don't know when Yoshi's leaving. For Japan.
I don't, and nor Shohei.
Shohei's still not pitching WBC.
No.
Is it possible that this is going to change?
I don't think so. I mean, I think anything's possible, but I think that, we're all mindful of what's the best for him personally, and slowly build up. And I think him being a part of Team Japan in any capacity is a big win, and he wants to do that for his country.
Is he going to be your opening day starter?
Well, we're way away from that. I don't know yet. That's a ways away.
Could it be the best team you had? Could this be the best team you had?
Yeah, I think it on paper, it could be. Last year's team, very good team on paper. I thought 2021, I think, was a very good team on paper. But this team, I think, looking at the guys in their prime, the experience, the talent, the starters, the pen, the depth of the young players that we have coming behind them, on the pitching side especially, probably the best team we've had on paper yet.
I don't know how the pressure getting more, but could the pressure get more? Could it be making more pressure on you guys this year?
I don't think so. I mean, we were here a year ago saying that we had a very talented roster coming off a championship. The goal was to win a championship. That was the goal. And so that's still the same goal.
Dave, outside of the players that we know, Blake, Tommy, is there anyone else that you're expecting to report to spring outside of the normal ramp up with injuries?
I think that right now we talked about obviously Kike and Evan as you mentioned. The other guys, I think that we're still trying to get our bearings. It's not injuries; it's more of where they're at with their ramp up. And so as they start kind of playing catch, more specific to the hitters or pitchers, seeing where they're at. I think then we'll know more. But outside of the guys we talked about, I think everyone has come in healthy. It's all kind of different stages of health, but they are healthy. He's in he's in that kind of bucket where he's healthy, but he's not ready to pitch yet in a major league game. But he's healthy. He's on his way back, and what that looks like as far as his progression, I don't think anyone knows that right now. But I talked to him today, and he's in good spirits. What's that? Same. Talked to Brewstar today. Feels good. I'm not specific exactly where he's at in his progression, but I do know that he's working on his way back. And so what that looks like, I can't even speak to that right now.
So what did you learn last year about the World Series game? A phrase that I know you're real fond of.
I think it's real, and for me to try to say it's not real is probably not give enough credit to the human being their minds. But I do think that there's a way to kind of combat it. I think for me, Bill, is you got to figure out how to keep guys involved, focused. It helps when you have depth with young, excitable players, infused with new players that are veterans that haven't won, and also trying to figure out when to push the go button on the whole team. And so I don't know what that looks like this year, but it's certainly something that I'm mindful of.
Did you learn from last year about the go button?
I wouldn't change anything from last year. This team's going to be different than last year's team. I certainly know a lot of the guys, but it's kind of read and react and see how the season plays out. It's going to be different, I'm sure, than last year, but I don't want to make that premeditated decision because I just don't know yet.
You guys have had a lot of practice with assimilating superstars into the room. Like, what is it that allows you guys to maybe do that pretty seamlessly, and what will allow guys like Diaz and Tucker to kind of fit right in?
It's very thoughtful. It is very thoughtful. I think that Kyle, you can't argue the talent, the workmanlike, the show up and want to be out there every day. There's not he blends in with a lot of our guys that, unfortunately for you guys, isn't going to give you a lot of sound bites, but just wants to play baseball. And I do think that, I think he was on that team in 17, right, as a young player, 22? Then they won with 22, yeah. So he's got one. I just think that his skill set really made sense for our club. I think the first domino was Edwin, in the sense of hadn't won, wanted to pitch for the Dodgers. And so, yeah, I do think that solidifying our bullpen at the back end was something really important. And, I think that you got guys like Mookie and Freddie chasing legacy and rings. I think we've done a good job over the years of infusing that guys that haven't won, but Edwin was a real big piece to this offseason puzzle, obviously with Kyle too.
There's so much been made about your payroll and learning baseball and everything. How is this different than when you played with the Yankees? Remember, everybody's talking about the Yankees every year too.
I don't see it out. I don't really know, Rob, as far as all the taxes and all that stuff that goes into it. But as far as from my perspective, seeing it, very similar. You always have to have somebody that teams and fans, enjoy disliking. And that's good for sports, I think. I was one of those guys that didn't like the Yankees, but saw their value with the sport, certainly. I think that it does get lost that the things that we do well, I think scouting and player development, I think we do as good as anyone in baseball of that. To get superstars to play well every night, to put out a good product every single night, I think we do a good job at that. But yeah, I think when you're talking about the Yankees, if you can be put in that vein of the Yankees in the 90s, you're doing something right, a lot of things right.
Even with Atlanta won 14 in a row, nobody really talked about them complaining about Atlanta.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I don't know how Sherholz and Cox and all those guys got a pass from everyone, but they were sort of people adored them, I guess. I don't know.
Dave, that proverbial target that you guys are going to have on your back this year, it's probably not unlike the target you had on your back last year. What did you learn about maybe just how your players experienced that last year that can inform this year? Was it something that you felt like they were motivated by, or that maybe became overbearing? Like, how do you feel like they handled that last year?
I think that they handled it glowingly, and I say that because it's an analogy I'm going to use in a few days. As far as I thought we did a very good job of keeping our eyes looking forward at our goal versus looking to the side and looking at who's around us, who's chasing us, right? And knowing you have a target, as we should if you're the defending champions, but to still focus on yourselves and what's forward, that's what we do a good job of, and that's what our guys do a good job of.
Why do you think you guys were able to do a good job of that?
You know what, Alden, I think that's a better question for each individual player and as a team. I could say that that's my messaging all the time, every day, but it's probably better to hear from them. It's easy to say not concern yourselves with, people that are trying to knock you off the hill or whatever analogy, but it's harder to do in practice. But I do think that we do a good job of each day just trying to focus on that day, win a baseball game, and we talk about that a lot. Versus another player from another team saying that their matchup with us and they can beat us and all that stuff. That's well and good, but you still got to play.
Dave, said before about how kind of in managing an older team, right? You have to communicate with the guys more in terms of kind of figuring out days off and stuff. Freddie came out in his fan fest, said he wanted to play all 162.
Did he? Great.
Okay. Well, how do you kind of manage like that type of situation?
I think that I've already come to understand and respect that every player wants to play every game, should want to play every game. Certainly a guy like Freddie who's done it. I think that he's coming in great shape. He looks fantastic. That's his mindset. And for me, I don't have a set number right now on games played. I still probably got the under on 162. But yeah, those are ever-evolving conversations that I have with those guys, with pitchers, with bullpen guys and coaches, front office, all of it.
Dave, as spring training progresses, what's the combination between prospects and veterans that are going to be playing on the same field as we progress through the season of spring training?
Yeah, we'll mix in some prospects with those guys. I think actually with the WBC, I'm going to run those guys out there more than they probably would in a regular spring training. Our prospects that are in camp, for the most part, this is their second camp, some third, that they've been around longer and more often. So I feel more comfortable running them out there. How much they overlap with the A group, the starters, remains to be seen. But yeah, I do want them to be around our starters to kind of see what it feels like to be with, our starters out there on share the same field.
I don't know if you saw that the owners kind of voted to enforce more that the base coaches stay in the boxes for sign stealing purposes. I don't know. What's your sort of take on sort of enforcing those rules a little bit more strictly?
I am aware of that, and I think what it is more so trying to make sure base coaches don't get closer to the field of play so they can go as far back as they want away, not distance away from home plate, but as far as towards the dugouts for safety, if they want to have for safety, but the competitive advantage to kind of not be mindful of the coach's box, to whether it's getting the pitcher's glove, whether it's to check out. You can't see the catcher signs anymore because of the audio, but I'm fine with it as long as it's even. I got no problem.
Was that an issue raised during the World Series?
I think it was raised during the postseason because every coach, manager, player is trying to retain every competitive advantage or not give it up. So just being mindful, I think the commissioner's office just got tired of the complaining about it, so they want to do something about it and streamline it, which is fine.
When you have a roster that's put together, like when you go into camp, what are the questions you have that you want to see answered that you're going to learn kind of watching this group go through the next 6 weeks?
Learn. I think I know enough about the guys that have been around. I think 90% of it is getting guys ready for the season. And even the young prospects, younger players, getting ready for their seasons. I think there's certain guys that I want to see guys like Alex Freeland come into camp. I want to see how Dalton Rushing is with a full off season. There's some young pitchers, whether it's Jackson Ferris. I want to see how Robo comes in this year after last year. I want to see the young players, the prospect outfield group that we have, see those guys another year. But outside of there's not really a role situation. I know a lot about our guys that we have, just being mindful of getting them ready for the season.
Speaking of Shohei, how many at-bats does he need before he leaves?
You know what? I don't know the number. I know he does a good job of taking at bats on the backfields. He'll take some game at bats. Honestly, Shohei is different in the sense that when he feels good, he feels good. So that's probably the question for Shohei. I just trust his thoughts.
Just to confirm, he will not be in Cactus League before he leaves.
Correct. That's yes. Yes, that's true.
After the WBC.
Yeah. I think he's going to continue to ramp up, but no, I don't see him pitching in a Cactus League game before he leaves. No.
What do you think about your evolution now as a manager, with the success you've now had in your entire tenure, certainly in the last 3 or 4 years? We've accomplished a lot. Still feel like I'm getting better. I really do. I feel like I'm becoming a better manager in real time. I think we've built something very good, very consistent, and proud of it. I really am. It's really special what we have, this whole operation. Do you have a confidence now that maybe you didn't have 5 years ago? I know you always believe.
I've always believed in myself, Barry. I've always believed in myself. Yeah. But I do feel like you're always trying to get better, but I don't think that myself or the Dodgers, we feel like we have something to prove. I think that we go about it the right way, and you're always trying to get better.
You don't think you have something to prove?
No.
You've already proved it. Now it's just
And just continue to realize that standard.
Dave, with ABS coming, do you think you guys are going to have any kind of ground rules about who can use it, who can't, who gets to challenge you guys?
We're going to have a lot of conversations about that. And I do think that there's going to be a strategy with it. What that looks like, I don't think I know right now, but we're going to encourage conversations as far as leverage, when to use it, when not to, who should, who shouldn't.
Who's a definite no?
I don't want to say because they've already been sensitive when I brought it up, so I'm not going to name call right now.
Did that person just sign an extension?
I don't know. I'm not going to say any names. But I do think that there's a self-evaluation on who knows the strike zone, who doesn't, who gets emotional, understanding everything. So this will be a good run for us in spring training, and I'm in favor of it. I am.
Would you have used it a lot as a player?
I would have. I think I'd have been pretty good at it.
Dave, you ever watch Game 7? You ever marvel at how close you all came to lose this thing?
I was talking to Duncan Webb, one of our executives today in the batting cage, and the line drive that Blake Snell gave up, the first pitch when infield was in, lines it to Max Muncy, that would have changed the game. I do think about a lot of things that could have changed the game. It would be a good exercise for me to watch Game 6 and 7 and go, that would have changed it. I haven't done that exercise, but honestly, if we don't get that wheel play at Citizens Park,
Bank Park, that could have changed the game. You know, that's what I think, that I haven't kind of gone down that rabbit trail to see all the different things. But
Are you still amazed by the whole thing?
yes, I am. I'm amazed.
Is there one of those plays that replays in your mind a little bit more often this winter than the others?
I would say probably the Miguel Rojas to Will Smith, the foot on home plate. I mean, shoot, there was a couple, like, I don't know who hit it into, like, the ball off Freddie's glove to Tommy to slide Barry on the catch and throw Connor Falafa out at third base. That was a big play. You know, there were sort of, but probably that play. Yeah.
There were years where you guys would be on like the other side of those kind of plays in October, executing in those moments. Like, how much of that is just like sometimes things go your way, sometimes they don't, versus like an intangible like ability for a team to kind of be able to pull those moments off?
Miguel Montero hit an 0-2 homer to beat us in 16, which was completely unexpected. The last guy on the bench. And if he doesn't do that, I don't think they win the World Series, in my opinion. I thought we were going to win the World Series. No one expected Miguel Rojas to hit a home run, and sometimes it just takes that to then propel you. So we got our breaks. We had big hits, and man, when I think about that, it still blows my mind. You know, how many different plays. You know, who could have ever thought Will Klein was going to throw 4 innings scoreless in a World Series game? But you have to have stuff like that. And now coming into this year, he's a different person. His demeanor, he's exuding confidence now, which is pretty cool to see.
Well, this whole conversation would be different, right? We'd be asking you why you guys are such losers.
Well, that's right. Yeah, I know one person would.
David, all the games you've managed and played in, how high does that one rank, just in terms of pure chaos and insanity?
It's going to go down as one of the best games of all time. That Game 7. Yeah, it's at the top. It has to be. The stakes, everything. It has to be.
So, speaking about this, going back to the last 2 World Series, if certain plays had been made the other way in both World Series, you guys wouldn't have won either of them, and you wouldn't have been playing for winning baseball.
Absolutely, that's right. But that's why the thing is that's why the biggest conversation should be that versus a payroll question. Because if you really watch the games and you watch us in San Diego, all the things that could have changed the outcome of history, that's what I thrive on and gets my juices going about sport, about baseball in particular.
Well, if Judge doesn't drop the ball, if Garrett Cole covers first base.
Keep going, Barry. There you go.
I mean,
that's right.
And all the stuff in Game 6 and Game 7. I mean,
that's right.
It's mind-boggling. Really.
It's mind-boggling.
Good headline: Dodgers lucky or good?
Combo. It takes to win a championship. It takes both.
Is baseball better with the Dodgers or good?
Absolutely.
Why?
I think people love somebody to have somebody to root for, root against. I think it's just I think a team that, well, why are we good for baseball? Because our players play the game the right way. When you watch our team play, there's not anyone who could say our guys don't respect the game and don't play the game the right way. That's what I focus on. Our guys, how do you not like what Shohei, what Freddie, Mookie, Will Smith, we play the game the right way, in my opinion. So I'm going to sidestep where you're trying to go, your question. We're good because we play the game the right way, and I think we give our fans a great product every single year.
Dave, in terms of players that play the game the right way, how much are you going to miss Kershaw in the clubhouse this season?
So much. Already saw his locker. Yeah, I just went by real quick. We're going to miss. I don't know. I should have looked to see who has it. But yeah, we're going to miss him. We're going to miss, him out there doing his work, just being the stalwart, the icon that he is. We're going to miss him. hopefully we see him in spring at some point.
When's the statue of him going to go up outside of Dodger Stadium?
That's a Mark Walter question. Yeah, it's coming.
And Dave, one of the other guys, team leaders, Max Muncy, re-signing, possibly going to finish his career. What's it like getting him back?
I had a long conversation with Max. He's thrilled. He's very under the radar as far as what he's done for us to win 3 championships. Probably one of the, better, if not one of the best, top few postseason players in Dodger history. So very happy to have him back. He don't hit that homer in Game 7. It could be a different story as well. So very excited for Max.
Has Mark asked you to help out with the Lakers too?
No, managing the Dodgers is plenty for me.
Yeah, well, the other guys are doing it.
They are. I'm just going to stick with one job.
You think they should get rid of LeBron?
I pass on that question.
Fair enough.
What are you hoping to see from Yoshinobu this year? He did so much for the team. He became the Horace's MVP. What's your expectation?
I think just continuing to get better. What that looks like, I don't know. I do know that he got a lot better from his first year to his second year. Certainly, what he did for us last year and throughout the postseason, he's got a lot of confidence. But I count on him. We count on him. So he's looks good. I just saw him today as well. Very focused. I'm excited to see what he does this year for us.
We saw him practicing today with the uniforms. I think he went to bullpen. He threw a couple pitches.
I think he did. I didn't get a chance to see it, but I'm not sure what he did. I'll know more as we get into tomorrow. And yeah.
What about Roki? What's his expectation for him?
He looks physical, more physical this year. Looks confident, and he's healthy. So, want him to be a starter. Want him to pitch well.
Strange for you, Dave, to be in this room without Bochy, your buddy.
It is. I saw Tito. He's like one of the last of the Mohicans, So I saw Tito briefly, but yeah, not seeing Boch is different. I saw him on a trip this past off season, but he's back home, I guess, with the Giants and helping out there. Who else do you say, Bob?
Buddy, what?
Yeah, Buddy. I saw Buddy recently. He's back with San Diego doing some stuff there. So it is weird kind of looking around the room, and I'm one of the elder statesmen, so that's different.
Yamamoto, you talk about kind of trusting Ohtani to kind of know his body and stuff, right?
Yes.
Yamamoto's obviously got an entirely kind of different training program, right? Yada Sensei and all that stuff. That said, he is a smaller guy.
Yep.
A couple years ago, he did have shoulder issues. How much do you kind of trust, you guys as an organization, I guess, trust him, as opposed to maybe, kind of try to preempt some stuff by getting ahead of things and maybe kind of limiting him in some ways?
I think that, first off, we trust him. I trust him. I will say that he let me and the training staff manage him last year. And I think that he always wants to and feels that he needs to keep pitching, which is great. But I do think that we've kind of got a rhythm where we know when to push him, when to pull back, and taking in his whole workload. That's still front of mind for all of us. And I do think that there's a trust with Yoshinobu that he believes that how we manage him is best for him and the team. But I will say I still trust because of his delivery is good, his work is so good that, he does a great job taking care of himself.
Will it be a 6-man rotation again?
I think early it's hard to say it won't be. How beholden we are to that for how long.
I don't know, but I think it's easy in the sense of to say that because the early part of the season, we're very mindful of giving guys rest to keep guys built up. I think that lends itself to that. It's hard to say right now who those participants are. It really is. But I do think that with the starting pitching depth we have, it makes sense right now as I sit here right now. But how that looks, at the end of April, I'm not sure yet.
Tommy and Yamamoto last year pretty much made once a week start. Is that going to be a plan again?
I think so. But Yoshinobu is up for anything, and clearly. But I think that's fair, certainly to start.
Do you have any more info on Snell, like what he's going to be able to do this spring and how his likelihood for opening day?
I don't, and it's going to be kind of see where he's at in his throwing progression, and as he starts throwing pens and throwing to hitters, then Mark Pryor will build it out. But I think for me, right now, I can't even speak to it right now. I hope so. I don't know. I hope he is. He's obviously going to be pitching in the WBC, so he's going to need some repetition. So we've got some guys that can catch him. So we got some hitters that he can throw to as well. So I hope he does, but I'm not sure.
Is there any liability concerns or something like that if he gets hit by a comebacker or something? Could his family sue you guys?
I don't know, Dylan. I haven't gone that far into it. Now I hope he doesn't come.
Dave, with someone like River Ryan coming back from injury, is he going to be ready to go from the start, or what do you think he can give you this year? Starter?
He looks great. Added some weight. Excited for River to see what River can do. What he can give us, I don't know. I don't want to kind of throw out an inning or innings, but it's going to be more kind of contention on how his buildup is. But to expect him to have a full season, given he just came off Tommy John, probably unfair. So I don't think anyone knows what it's going to look like, but really excited for him to pitch major league innings for us this year. That I'm pretty certain of. Anything else, Dylan?
I got a behind-the-scenes question.
Grand Canyon.
You do work with Justin Sua, or you have?
Yeah.
How instrumental has he been, to you and the organization?
Justin's been great. He obviously has a relation with a lot of our players, and he's worked really well with Brent Walker, our mental performance guy who's in-house, and which is great for us. And Justin's been a support for the players, the coaches, myself, and so I just love his disposition, his positivity, his insight, and he's good about giving nuggets and support. Very, very good support for all of us.
And his background kind of lends to...
Yeah, background, his track record, success rate, so he's been very additive for the Dodgers.
Your son met Verlander yet?
What's that?
Has your son met Verlander yet?
No. Talked to AJ, talked to George Lombard, never met Verlander, so yeah. I'm waiting for him to talk to Alan Trammell.
Okay.
Because Tram's in camp, so that'll be good for him.
Did you foresee this kind of like as a future for him, or like something?
I didn't, because I was hoping, but he was very resistant to it. He's trying to not follow in my footsteps. He does everything he can not to, which I don't blame him, but sort of kind of fell out.
Is that one of those things where like he's been around it so much that maybe he gravitates towards
I think so. But he refused to work for the Dodgers, so.
Is he more open to your advice playing or coaching?
Neither yet. Neither yet. Hopefully it's a slow drip, so we'll see.
There's a lot of like osmosis things.
That's what I'm hoping for. Take the good, kick away the bad. Yeah. Marty, got a Padre question?
course you do. What do you got?
You've butted heads with quite a few former Padres managers. What's your
Thanks, Marty. I'm not going to butt heads with Stamen.
You're not?
No way.
Why not?
I just don't see that happening. Don't see it happening.
Were you surprised?
No, I was surprised in the sense of, he hasn't coached before, but not surprised with the respect he has in the clubhouse, in the game, and being familiar with the organization. Great hire. Yep. That's it?
That's only one positive.
That's it?
question.
All right. Thank you, Marty.
Let's bring up your Tony question.
Yeah, there you go. That's right. Hey, thank you. Good seeing you, Marty.
Your team has no money now. They're not in the conversation.
What's that?
Your team has no money now. They're not in the conversation.
See, every question I'm not going to answer.
I think you got to just...
having three new managers in your division.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Torrey and I are the elder statesmen. It's going to be interesting to see. I like Shafe. I like all three guys. I don't know Video much, but yeah, we'll see. How are you? The trip was great. Got good weather. Saw some family, some friends. Had some great food. Looking forward to going back next year. Yeah, I love it there. And they love the Dodgers in Japan.